Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my loves, it's Destin Choice and you're watching Choice TV. So for today's video, I feel like I really had to get on here and talk about this whole controversy involving the JustSam girl who basically went on to expose the whole music industry, shady contract, shady deal, and American Idol. Now, if y'all didn't know, this whole JustSam situation has been blowing up on social media and a lot of people are very upset about it. And I also wanted to get on here and have a serious conversation about celebrity worship, the importance of not putting these big mainstream celebrities on a pedestal. And we need to have a serious conversation about money management and self-accountability. Now, JustSam is a singer, songwriter, and producer from Harlem, New York City. And she was known for being on the 18th season of American Idol. At only 21 years old, she famously won the 18th season of American Idol. And this was a big deal because this is when everybody was locked up and at home during the pandemic. This was the first season where everybody had to watch in quarantine and where American Idol had to literally continue filming in spite of there being a global pandemic and the fact that there were a ton of riots and political things going on in the world. However, many of Sam's fans are very upset with her because a lot of them supported her and even voted for her to win. And she famously won over $250,000 just to find out that now she's struggling because she blew through all the money. And she claims that a big reason why she couldn't sustain relevancy was because the industry kind of turned their backs on her and she blamed the pandemic. Now, Samantha Diaz, also known by her stage name JustSam, was born on November 23rd on Thanksgiving Day, 1998. She's currently 24 years old and she got her start being a singer in her local church. Now, Sam had a very rough childhood. Her mother wasn't very persistent in her life and her father was virtually non-existent. She grew up being bullied because she was very masculine, had very tomboyish antics, and a lot of people basically picked on her. And the way she was able to channel her strength, patience, and power was through music and singing. Just from her singing her heart out, you can just tell that this girl has been through a lot of shit in her life. Her grandmother virtually adopted her and her siblings when they were very, very young, and her mother wasn't persistent in her life because her mother was in and out of jail making bad decisions. So her grandmother basically took the role as her full-time mom. And things were hard. And her grandmother was a single woman trying to keep the household afloat and raise all these kids on her own. And she initially started singing because she wanted to get her mom's attention and validation. And then when she was walking around the city, she randomly thought of the idea of singing in the subway station because we all know it's a big part of New York culture to see people singing and performing in the subway. And ever since graduating high school, that was pretty much her main hustle. There would be times where she would make up most $30, $60, sometimes even $80 a day just from singing inside the subway and singing inside New York City.
But then we discovered singing on the trains, like on the trains, inside of the trains. And that changed my life. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like I should have never ever been born. Like I'll never, no, never find a home. Thank you everyone for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
And after many years of singing in the subway, she got the opportunity at only 20 years old to be on the 18th season of American Idol.
Enough. Why? We're gonna do this. I'm sorry.
You're all right. You're all right. Want to start again?
Please.
You can. Start again.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's all right. It's all right.
That's all right.
It's all right.
I'm ready. I have to.
Take your time. Take your time. Come here. Yeah, come here. Yeah, come here.
Oh.
Come here.
I'm sorry.
No, you need to.
You're okay. Listen, we feel that you're going to be amazing. Like, we can tell you're going to be amazing.
Yeah. It feels like a dream.
No, this is the good dream. You got this. Don't worry. You got this.
We believe in you. All right, give it to us, all right?
Okay.
Evidently, her introduction to America and the judges was very heartfelt, and people all over the world connected to her story. She made it very clear the reason why she was so emotional was because she wasn't used to girls coming from the ghetto that looked like her making it at such a level. Sam won over the hearts of America, and she won over the hearts of the judges, and she continued to go viral throughout 2019. She even famously went viral on the show for singing Selena Quintanilla's hit song, Como la Flor, and basically she sung the song in a whole different language. It showed her voice control, her technique, and the skills that she had. Evidently, she literally got a standing ovation from Katy Perry, and again, the video garnered millions of views on YouTube. And let's make it clear that that's pretty impressive because not many people could pull off Selena Quintanilla's vocal range. So evidently this girl had talent and people really believed in her and thought she was going to be the next big thing, the next Jordan Sparks, the next thing to make it off this show. Because let's be real, a lot of people don't make it off of these talent shows. These talent shows don't really do shit for you unless you go viral nowadays, because talent shows on TV just aren't lucrative. You know, we're in the age and era of TikTok, YouTube, Instagram Reels, and no one really cares that you're on a talent show. It's really all about who you're connected with, how attractive you are, and how talented and how hot you are in that moment. Now, we all know what happened during the pandemic express. The whole world was in shambles, politics was in shambles, the election was going on, we had riots, protesting, looting, all types of chaotic things happening. People were unemployed, people were being forced to work from home, kids weren't in school. It was a chaotic thing that was happening globally, so a lot of people were affected. She was unfortunately affected because she and the rest of the contestants had to compete, but they had to compete at the comfort of their own home. And on top of that, all of her accommodations were being paid for by the show because she had to be in Los Angeles to compete. And then she also had to compete at home virtually through Zoom, through her own home, through a tablet, through an iPad, and much more. So considering the pandemic paused a lot of production and much more, American Idol shockingly still went on to film. And famously enough, she managed to be the first winner during the pandemic.
The next American Idol for 2020 is JustSam. Congratulations.
Now a new winner taking the coveted top spot.
2020 American Idol. Yeah, you did it.
JustSam.
Thank you so much, America.
People love to see somebody struggling and then having a coming of age story. We see it all the time with some of the greatest entertainers to ever live. Sam won the 18th season of American Idol, and she blew the whole world away, and everyone thought that she was destined for great things to happen. People thought that she was going to be on top of the world and that this was her moment and no one was going to take that shit from her. Unfortunately, things went downhill for her. Fast forward to years later, last summer around August, she made it very clear on Instagram that she was struggling with her health. She didn't want to explicitly tell people because Sam is very private and she didn't want people in her business like that. But she was struggling with her health and she was having issues with her weight. On her story, she posted the following saying, "I'm grateful for the prayers, everyone. I'm doing much better now." Then she posted another story saying, 100 pounds is crazy. I seriously need help. Then posting, "I need a better hospital, bruh. I hate it here, to be honest." Then later sharing in a now deleted story, "This sickness at some point stopped me from singing when I need to sing the most." Then she went on to say that she's been battling depression. And fast forward to 2023, literally a few weeks ago, she went viral all across social media because a lot of people were perplexed to find out that she was struggling financially. Now, if y'all didn't know, she put up a post on Instagram letting everyone know that she is back singing in the subway again after winning $250,000, getting millions of people as exposure, being on a hit TV show like American Idol, and she's saying that she desperately needs the money to take care of herself. But that wasn't the end of it. Many people started filming her in the New York City subway, and a lot of her fans were like, "Damn girl, what happened?" Because people thought that she was doing well and balling because, again, it's only been 3 years. You know, the Pandemic Express happened 3 years ago. How did all that money go away?
But I can't bring myself to swim when I am drowning in this silence. Baby, let me in. I'm not at home.
Now, let's be honest. Fun fact, a lot of us are just now finding out that she's in a train station singing, but what a lot of us didn't know is she ran through all that money in 2021, which means the money technically ran through in literally a year. So she put up on Instagram addressing everything and reposting all the videos of her singing in the subway, and she stated, "Back in 2021, I was super embarrassed to be going back to the trains. I didn't want people to know that I legit needed the money, and I didn't want people to know that it wasn't optional." She then stated, "I was disappointed in myself for allowing myself to fall so low after winning Idol, but then I had to take it easy on me and remember that I started my journey with Idol at 20 years old, not even knowing anything about Hollywood or the music industry. Since then, I have learned so much, and I've been able to take my experiences and share them with other artists in hopes that they don't experience the same things that I did when it comes to making it in this life." Then she finally decided to say, "Everybody wants to know what happened and why this or why that. I will answer those questions someday, but in the meantime, I'll say this. I never expected to win, but I did. I was so grateful, and I know that people are feeling like I let them down." And her last statement read, "There are people who had more success than me, and good for them. I'm happy for them, but I'm not them. I don't like my situation, but it won't be this forever." Now, at first glance, a lot of people, especially her fans at home, were very upset because, again, with American Idol, the big reason why people win these game shows or these TV shows or these talent shows is because people at home vote for you to win. And millions of people in America voted for this girl to win just for her to be down bad. She made it very clear that she felt very disappointed and embarrassed in herself because she let everybody down. She made poor decisions, and these poor decisions led to everybody side-eyeing her and looking at her crazy. Now, unfortunately, she made the decision to sign with one of the first record labels that offered her a deal, and you never do that. You never take the first deal that gets offered to you. You always counter-offer, or you always get a lawyer to review things. She made the decision to sign a whole bunch of shit. She didn't read her contract, and all she saw was dollar signs, and unfortunately, she got fucked over for it. Now, a year ago, she did an Instagram story video letting everybody know why she's down bad and struggling. Now, she didn't go into detail last year, but she gave everybody a gist of how she was doing bad. This was before people started catching her singing in the subway. This is what she said. And a lot of people didn't see this screen recorded video, but I managed to find it somewhere on the depths of the internet.
So, I'm going to take a second to answer a few of the questions that I keep seeing popping up on my comments. Because maybe if I just answer them, you know, people will stop asking me every single day of my life. Let's see. So the first question that I keep seeing is, am I still making music? Oh, yes, I am. Music is life. So, yeah, I am. I am making as much music as I possibly can. As I can, you know, afford. It is not easy being, first of all, I just turned 23 years old, so I was 22, 21 off of the show. It is not easy being a 21-year-old and running your own business and paying for your own music to be mixed and mastered and all the good things. It is not easy, especially when you know nothing about the industry. My grandmother doesn't know anything about the industry. I don't know anything about the industry. I don't have parents to teach me these things. So I'm learning what I can. I have people who are helping me. And yeah, like I'm putting out music when I can and when it's ready. It's just hard because I'm coming out of pocket and I have bills. So yes, I have bills to pay. And American Idol is not going to pay my bills. Lionel Richie's not going to pay my bills. Katy Perry's not going to pay my bills. Luke Bryan is not going to pay my bills. I have to pay my bills. I have to pay my rent. I have to make sure that I'm eating every day, which is hard to do. I have to make sure that I'm mentally okay, which I am doing. I do take time to meditate, and I have, I'm seeing a counselor for my PTSD. Like, I have to take care of myself too, because nobody's going to take care of me. And you know, I thought it was going to be, you know, easy. Just go to the studio, record, put out music. And that's not how the world works. That's not how the industry works. It takes time. It takes money that I don't have. It takes patience. And yeah, like I I'm gonna get music to you guys.
She also went on to address Hollywood Records, the record label that she idiotically signed to, even though they were the first label to hit her up.
But I believe that when we parted ways, in order for them to keep 100% of the money that was made from Rise Up, I think they had to pull it from streams so that I wouldn't get a cut. Which is smart move, Hollywood. But yeah, I did not pull that song down myself from iTunes. That was the label. So I guess people really just want the answer to why am I not making music? I am making music. I just cannot afford to release music because mixing and mastering music costs a lot of money. And I invested in myself and ended up broke. That's the truth. Not broke, like I'm living, I have my own place, but like I had to pay, I'm not even gonna tell you guys the amount of money that I had to pay after leaving the label to claim songs that I had already recorded.
After being persistently caught in the subway, she decided to finally do an interview, and TMZ invited her on their platform to address why she's all of a sudden broke and not doing so well after winning $250,000 after the show.
Everybody thinks it is the ticket to, fame and fortune. Why don't you kind of elaborate on the reality?
Well, I'm with everybody because I thought the same thing. I was like, that's it. Me and my grandmother will never see the same or experience the same struggles again. And really, that's not what it was. It was also difficult because I was the only American Idol in history to win in the middle of, or in the beginning of COVID, and everything was shut down. People didn't want to work directly in studios right away. People were still trying to figure out how to get back to whatever normal was going to be for us then. And
do you feel better prepared going back into it now?
Oh yeah. I mean, I definitely know now I have to read more.
Contracts.
Yeah, contracts are something serious. And I was just like, okay, yes, yes. And just signing things. And that's not how it goes. You can't just move like that. It leaves you in sticky situations. But that's one thing that I learned. I learned so much from the label. Now I'm at a place where I'm like, girl, it's okay to record in somebody's house studio and put it out, and the people are going to hear you. They're going to feel you because I put my heart into my music. I only have 5 songs out, and I thought I have to pay the $5,000 to get a professional to mix and master it. And no, people are going to hear it. I'm grateful that you guys are giving me the opportunity to speak out, and people Lil Durk reached out to me just to show love. I was recently on Timbaland's live on TikTok, and
wow,
just so many people are reaching out and showing love. And I have opportunities that my team and I are, working on, collaborations that we're working on, make happen.
She also blamed the pandemic for being a reason why she couldn't get her career afloat. Now, back during the pandemic, back in 2020, Gabrielle Union made it abundantly clear that a lot of entertainers shouldn't be pedestalized because a lot of them aren't doing as well as the general public likes to perceive them. Now, she made it abundantly clear that this is why a lot of them were so quick to, jump on OnlyFans or find other sources of income, because even though they look glamorous and are at all these major award shows, a lot of them don't really got it like you think they do.
For most, certainly Black entertainers, Black celebrities, we don't, for all of the Oprahs and the people who have just a lot of money, most of us are 1 or 2 checks away from not having money to pay for all of our things. You know what I mean? So this stoppage of work and money is impacting marginalized celebrities the most. You know, like all those influencers you see who take all the trip. They're in Dubai one week and they're in, you know, some whatever, London the next week and Paris the next week, and they seem to be everywhere. They may not have a lot of liquid income, right? And you can't charge your rent. You have to pay your rent. So if you don't have the opportunity to
Now, I'm gonna be real. I feel like she's low-key exaggerating about the pandemic thing because I get it. I know a lot of us were fucked over. A lot of us were struggling during the pandemic. That's obvious. But I don't understand how you can say the pandemic plays a very big role on why you were struggling to get yourself up off the ground in the industry when a lot of things are on the internet. There's a lot of things that she could have did to progress. She could have made a podcast. She could have did podcast interviews. She could have called into more shows. She could have reached out to a lot of people via social media. You know, a lot of artists, when the whole pandemic shut down, were doing things in their home studio, or they were going to other people's home studios and they were sending, you know, their verses via internet PDF or via internet file. That's what they were doing. You know, artists like Nicki Minaj, Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, Meg The Stallion, 6ix9ine, all these artists were recording things on their phone or recording things in a home studio, and they were virtually sending it and having a producer produce and put things together. Because we live in a digital era, you don't really have to be in the same room as somebody anymore to collaborate on a song, a business, or a project anymore. But my question is, where did all that money go? Where did all that money go? Where's the money? Where's the money? Because I know Uncle Sam got his cut, but where'd you put the money towards? I get bills and rent and all, but where did all that money go? You know, she also claimed that her grandmother was also managing her career. And mind you, her grandmother don't know shit about the music industry. So the fact that her grandmother was managing her is a little scary. And I get it. A lot of us who come from nothing, you got to teach yourself stuff, or you have to go out of your way and use YouTube University. You got to use Google, because a lot of us don't have parental guidance or a guidance when we were younger to teach us and show us where to go and what to do. But I'm side-eyeing where the money went. Now, of course, a lot of people, especially her fans, went in on her because many people were saying, girl, why you got on Nike Dunks in the train? Why you got on those expensive Nikes? People were saying things such as, how the hell did you burn through all that money within a year? Because again, like, she made it clear in 2021 in that past live stream that all the money went by in like a year and a half. How the fuck did you go through $250,000? The same way she ran through all that money is the same way that a lot of people who win the lottery run through all their money. There's people who win the lottery for millions and they run through all that money within a year because they got leeches around them. They don't know how to say no. They get to, you know, they get this dopamine effect where they get high off the fact they have so much money. So they start shopping thinking they ain't got no limit, but things add up very quick. That Starbucks you get, it adds up quick. Those Uber Eats, DoorDash orders you get, it adds up very quick. Those Ubers you get, they add up very quick. All those times you go out of your way to go out for drinks with friends and relatives and people you fuck with, that adds up so quick. And then let's talk about contracts. Come on now. Like, we hear this shit too many times from like all the artists that were signed to Diddy. We hear it all the time from all the artists that were signed to Pharrell. Like, even Khalees said this years ago, because she signed a shitty contract when she was like 18, 17, 19 years old, she got fucked over.
So we've got Pharrell, who did an interview, I think last year, talking about artists' rights and how people should be able to rework their deals and artists should be getting credit for what they've done and all this stuff. Where in reality, when I was signed to him, I had the same manager that he had, and he has writing credits on my records, okay? All my singles, coincidentally. And he never wrote a song, a lyric a day in his life, okay?
Fucking Meg The Stallion is currently in a whole lawsuit with that guy Carl Thomas from fucking 1501 Records, because when she was like 19, she signed a stupid deal, and now she's still having to fight to release at least 4 to 5 new albums under them so she could be freed from her contract. This is happening way too many times for people in this new generation to be out here signing these dumb-ass contracts. And let's also be realistic for a second. We can't really expect too much from these crazy-ass, dumb-ass talent shows, because these shows haven't produced a star in a long-ass time. Name the last person in recent years that has realistically become a big star because of these talent shows. Realistically, the last person to really become a big star after these talent shows was Fantasia, Jordan Sparks, and Tori Kelly. You know, and then that other guy from YouTube, Todrick Hall. You know, those were only the few people who managed to build mainstream careers off of being on these talent shows. These talent shows don't do shit for you. When you're an entertainer, everything relies on entrepreneurship. It's so obvious. If you don't work, Nothing else will. So it's really unfortunate that she thought that people were going to spoon feed her and guide her, but she said that she lacked guidance, hence why things didn't work out in her favor. You know, it's really sad because Sam had all these, you know, big ideas of her being this big star, but she thought that all she had to do was just show up and everything will fall into place. And that's why most people don't make it in the entertainment industry. And shout out to Nicki Minaj for doing this interview 15 years ago where she explained why a lot of people have a hard time making it in the music industry. And she said some real shit on why a lot of people never hit that mainstream ladder.
It's so difficult for female rappers in this game. There's so few of them.
Because they don't put their business first.
Oh, really?
You can't come into this business attacking other girls and thinking you're gonna go somewhere. You can't come into this business thinking that it's all about music. This is a business. You feel me? So in any business, whatever you're marketing, that's not gonna be the chunk of what you know. For instance, whatever you're selling, you have to do your homework. You have to do your homework on the market. And a lot of what people don't understand about the music is that it's a business. So if you come into it thinking that it's all about just being cute or getting some attention, I didn't do this for attention. Like, I didn't do it for any reason other than I wanted to explore the business and take it to where the guys took it as a business woman. So my music is just one facet of my empire that I'm building, and that's what I think a lot of the girls don't focus on. They don't look at it as a business, they look at it as just music, and it's not.
Do you think that
She thought people were going to do everything for her. And it's sad because, again, when you're an entertainer, everything falls back on you. Now, fun fact, she also created a GoFundMe account, and so far she's only raised around $800. And to be honest with you, not many people are donating because not many of her fans have a lot of sympathy, and not many people who watched her on TV cry and have this big opportunity have much sympathy for her, only because she saw way more money than you, or a lot of us watching this will ever see in a lifetime. She got to touch money. She got to reach millions. And most artists who come from the ghetto, most artists who come from all these, you know, adversities will never get these opportunities. They'll just never get it. That just would never happen for them. In her GoFundMe, she details saying, I recently posted this viral video of me singing for rent money. My fans asked why I'm busking instead of recording an album or singing on stages. They also wonder why I was left out of American Idol tours and promo for the new season. I've explained in recent interviews that the music industry and publicity industry just wasn't ready to launch a new artist during a global emergency. Everything was unknown and scary, and my career started to fall through those cracks. I just want to make music that shows my skill, heritage, queerness, and sensitivity instead of media focusing on poverty or family heartbreaks. She then ends the whole description by saying why she needs money. So apparently she needs about $3,000 a month for utilities, car insurance, and rent, which costs about $3,000 a month, which is odd, but not too odd considering she's from New York. Food, which will cost about $500 a month. She better eat some fucking ramen noodles and some fucking... Anyways. Then she says for gas money, she's going to need about $200 a month. And then in terms of gas money, I'm a little bit shocked that she wants $200 a month because I'm like, girl, you could just take the bus or the train. Then she says for household items and toiletries, she's going to need about $300 a month, for California travel frequently, and for music expenses about $5,000 a month. Now, please explain to me how the fuck that makes sense, because I don't understand why she needs all that fucking money when, again, she ran through her 250 G's within a year. Again, I get it. Show the girl some grace, give the girl some patience and empathy, but a year you ran through all that fucking money and you need all this bread because you claim the pandemic caused you to not be launched as a new artist? Coco Jones said a few years ago when she made her YouTube channel that a big reason why she didn't sustain a lot of longevity and she had to really build popularity all over again from scratch was because she relied heavily on Disney Channel to promote her. She's just now getting the mainstream attention that she should have got years ago out of all the hard work and all that she invested into Disney.
I didn't know that, all right, this is going to be different than how these other girls are. It don't matter how you can sing. It don't matter that you're nice. It don't matter that you're easy to work with. It don't matter that you're always on time. It don't matter that you always say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, all extra and polite. I didn't have to do none of that, but I did. It don't matter. So what you should have done, what I would have done is made my own platform that was mine with my own people that could not be taken away from me, whatever.
Unfortunately, she didn't sustain her platform. She didn't branch out. She didn't make a YouTube channel that was lucrative. She didn't make a podcast. She didn't do much. So it's kind of difficult for me to look at her GoFundMe and take it seriously, because it's like, girl, you want 3,000, you want 500 for toiletries and food? I think the fuck not. Go get a fucking job, because I hate to say it, but working inside the subway and just randomly singing on subway stations is not lucrative. Go get a 9-to-5 job. All these actors that are out here, when they're not filming, they're working their 9-to-5 jobs in their corporate offices. Some of them are teachers. Some of them are working at restaurants. A lot of them are bartenders. Some of them are strippers. Either you gonna get your ass on that fucking pole or go flip some burgers, because it's ridiculous how she had $250,000, blew it all in a year and a half. I would understand if it had been 5 or 10 years, but it's a year and a half. Nah, I'm not fucking with that. The ideology of you just signing a contract because you weren't paying attention and you were just so excited, that's not gonna fly with me. There's something she's not telling us. Because for you to sit up here and ask for all this bread, sweetheart, go get a job. Go get a 9-to-5 job. If you feel like you have to generally sing in the subway because you really need the money, find someone around you who can get you a job. Get a serving job. All these actors out here are working. Guess what? When the pandemic happened and all these actors couldn't take their asses to work, you know what the fuck they did? They went and they applied for jobs. People are supposed to donate so you can go sustain your lifestyle in Los Angeles. I mean, I get it, but then I don't get it. But overall, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Give your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. And please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah. That's that. Troyce out this bitch. Not really sure how you feel about it. Something about the way you move makes me feel like I can't live without you. And it takes me all the way. I want you to stay. I want you to stay. It's funny, you're the broken one, but I'm the one who needed true saving. Ooh, give her how. Ooh, if you got to hold on, I want you to stay. Ooh, I want you to stay.